What is up, fam? So today I'm going to bring Matt on from Deal Machines. I'm just going to get straight to the point. He's going to talk to you how to find off-market deals. For those of you who've been struggling trying to find a deal, and a lot of you have been submitting and trying to find deals on market, not saying there couldn't be a deal on market. It just takes, I don't think the time versus trying to find a deal on market versus off market. I think you better put time in trying to find off-market deals. You can get a better price. You're dealing directly with the seller. You're not competing with a bunch of investors. And, spending time with on-market deals, to me, it's just the amount of effort you put in and what you're getting back, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to have Matt jump on showing you guys how to find off-market deals, but not just that. How can you drive a dollar completely virtual? So let's just say that you're in a market that require a real estate license for you to wholesale. Well, guess what? You can wholesale completely virtual. I've been doing it for the past 5 years, all virtual, meaning we don't see the property. We don't see the seller. We don't see the buyer. Everything can be done over the phone and the internet. All the contract can be sent through emails, electronic sign, all of that. And Matt's going to walk you through how you can drive for a dollar completely virtual. So you can go in any city, any state you want, take your little car around, all right? And let's rock and roll. So help me welcome Matt. What up, dude?
Hey, what up, Khang? Good seeing you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, are you going to CG this September?
I was going to say, I'm glad we get to hang out in Phoenix here in a couple of weeks. So this will be a good time.
Good, dude. We definitely will have to shoot some video together.
There we go. I'm in. Yeah, love it. And David should be there too. So we'll have the whole
nice
for you. Yeah.
Is he going to bring his Rari?
We'll see. I don't know. He's in Austin now, so I feel like
okay.
he may make it out there. But yeah, he's having a good time. So if you bring yours, he'll bring his. How about that?
Got it. Okay, Matt. So let's jump into it, man. So let's go ahead and talk to people about the off-market deals, and then if you can jump on and take us around, dude.
Happy to, man. Yeah, and what I can show off too, I'll jump into the demo here in just a minute, just to give people a little bit of context on off-market deal stuff. To begin with, I mean, why we're even able to come in and talk about this. I mean, Deal Machine, we're a tool to help find off-market deals. I mean, I know Khang, like you talk about us all the time. I mean, our mission is to give everyone the power of real estate investing, and we've had over 200,000 people download the Deal Machine app so far. So it's being able to pull from them and say, like, here's what the best people out there, here, our most successful Deal Machine customers, here's what they're doing to go and find these off-market deals. So we're proud to say we're like at this point, the highest rated, most reviewed app out there for real estate investors. But that's why we have any credibility to be able to come in and say, like, hey, I can show you guys the exact process, the tools, like what the people out there doing deals are doing using technology to take it to the next level. So I know it is something too from an off-market deal standpoint, like, especially Khang, I know you talk about like this market a little bit too, like just the fact of, no matter what, if we're going into a downturn, all that stuff, like buying right is so incredibly important. And, the issue is like, hey, if you are having a situation where there's more, things are slowing down, there's any kind of downturn, hey, that means there's going to be more people with problems to solve that you can come in and help solve their problems. Like, you can come in and take this proven process, take this, proven way to get out there and go directly to those sellers. And if you're going to do a deal this year, if you're trying to do your first deal or trying to get better and do more deals, like, hey, I want to give you the playbook today to go do that. And you're better timing than ever to be starting to do that. So,
dude, Matt, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Matt. I think wholesaling is pretty much, market crash or market recession proof, because I've never heard of anybody go bankrupt wholesaling. But if you're a fix and flipper, you have to watch out, which means you have to buy things at a more conservative price, more of a discount. Just a year ago, you can get away by, buying things at 10% off, 15% discount, and then boom, the market appreciates so much that you're able to sell it and make a huge profit. A lot of times, a lot of you underestimate the rehab costs, and you're still able to come out ahead because the market just keep on appreciating. But right now, it's a time where I think that if you're a fix and flipper, you have to take on another, just adding a wholesaling into your toolbox. That way you're not taking on so much at the same time, but able to cherry pick the one that's cosmetic, where you can get in and get out within the next 30 to 60 days. If you're fixing a property that it's going to take you about 4 to 6 months, I think that within those months, the market can really change, and it could really damage you, especially if you're not buying it right, or you don't have enough cash reserve to withstand what's going to happen. And
Absolutely.
so I get people ask me, so Colin, is this a good time to wholesale? Dude, this is the perfect time. You need to learn how to wholesale, because just like Matt said, this is the time where there's going to be a lot more seller. I mean, we've already seen the conversation has changed on the phone already.
Things are turning
Because of, things are turning, because now it's going to become the buyer market, because of all the news, and everybody know that right now the some states it's like this, but my states, I can see prices are dropping. You're not putting a property on the market and getting 10 or 20 offer. You're putting a property on the market and maybe one offer, but it's going to be or two offer, and then you might have to drop the price. And we've already seen that happening already. And I think that's in a high-end market, you guys are going to see a big shift in high-end. For those of you who's trying to flip like the 800,000, the million, the 5-10 millions, I'm telling you, man, when the market does crash, those are the ones that get wiped out. So that's why, that's why to me, if you're into the fix and flip one, just get your number right and always stay with the bread and butter.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Basically the more affordable home that people can afford.
Yeah. And I think like even, and when I'm, when I show off the software as well, like how it even came to be, it's something where, our whole goal was to help people go direct to seller, go off market, to be able to help, help buy right, to be able to find those people that for whatever reason they're just not keeping up with a particular property. And you're able to come in and say, hey, I'll help solve that problem that you're dealing with. And they're willing to trade that solution for, speed and convenience and cash. And you're able to come in and really help, help solve the stress. So yeah, like, and that's what even David. So I know you've had David Lecco, our CEO, on before. We'll hang out all together here in a couple of weeks too, man. But David, when he started Deal Machine, like that was his goal. Is he would get out there. He was brand new to Indianapolis. He was looking around. He was, brand new to real estate investing, had no real estate experience at all. He, started to go to like RIA groups, and there wasn't like, I mean, when did you start putting out content, Khang? I mean, it was, what year was that?
Dude, like maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, like there weren't that many people really.
Correct.
I mean, this was 2015, 16 when he was getting into it. Like
no.
he didn't have great stuff to be able to like go find channels like yours and immediately, educate himself. He would go to RIA groups and stuff, and then he'd try to figure out like, okay, where do I start? Where do I, how do I find that first deal? And he would hear over and over again this whole driving for dollars thing.
Correct.
Which I know you talk about that, but just for people who aren't familiar with that term, the idea is, hey, go out there, find properties that have physical distress, that have, they're the worst looking house on the block. They're the ones that need some tender love and care. They're the ones that, they might have like a tarp on their roof, or gutters falling off, or maybe it's a little more subtle, like overgrown grass, or, overstuffed mailboxes, just things that are just kind of really showing you, hey, for whatever reason, people just, whoever owns the property just isn't keeping up with it. Maybe they don't even live there. Maybe they inherited it, for a variety of different reasons. They're just not keeping up with the physical appearance of it. And that is the number one indicator of a motivated seller. Like that is the number one indicator that, hey, it says this person may have a problem that I can come in and solve and wholesale that property. And so David, he went out there, he had all these people telling him, oh, go drive for dollars, go try to find your first deal that way. He would get out there, he'd drive around Indianapolis, he'd get in his car, he'd look around, he was all excited, like, okay, I'm gonna go find this first deal. And he would drive around, he'd start writing down addresses. He had like a little pen and paper next to him, and he'd try to stop the car and like try to find the address and write it down and all that stuff. And he would, do all this hard work for that. He'd come back, he'd like create a couple postcards that, he would then try to mail out to those individual owners, where he'd write on it and say like, yeah, I'm interested in your property, drove by, I'm a local investor, and would send that out to people. And then he'd sit and wait. And he's like, man, I'm going to get a ton of calls. Like they're going to call me back right away. I'm going to get so many deals out of this. And, he knew that he was finding really good leads, because those properties would sell, but they would sell eventually to somebody else. He realized like, man, it takes a little bit more consistency and tenacity and follow up and all of that to really land a deal like this. And that's where he got the idea for Deal Machine, is like, okay, I know driving for dollars works. I know most newbies, that's how they get their first deal, is by physically finding a property that isn't easy to find anywhere else. Like it's, you can't just pull a list of properties with, like a, a board up windows or a tarp on the roof or anything like that. It's, you got to drive around and like physically find those, those properties. So it's a list that only you have. It's a lead that maybe only you were going after. There's less competition going after that particular property. But when he was doing that, he realized he needed more leads and he needed to follow up with them over and over again. So that way, when the timing was right, that he was the one they thought of. He was the one that they went to when they're ready to sell, when they feel that need and they're like, okay, I need to sell this property. So yeah, man, that's kind of Deal Machine was created to solve all that, to help you, help him add a bunch of leads, help him follow up those leads, made it for himself. Then he had like a bunch of friends say, hey, how do I do this too? I see you land in deals.
Right.
Like David, he built like a 10 plus rental unit portfolio, made his own financial freedom from it. He's got like, over $10,000 in monthly cash flow from it. But when he went through that, he realized like, man, this is solving a problem that a lot of other people have. Put it on the App Store, and here we are today, man. So,
Dude, I
just want to give people a little background. So
yeah, no, man, absolutely, man. And I want to say congrats. And I gotta say that what David have done with the app and what he has taken it to, dude, I'm just so impressed, because I've seen some of the biggest real estate investors use them. I know in CG people use them. Half the VAs drive around for dollars, even though the VAs in the Philippines, but they can drive for dollar virtually. So, David, if you want to jump in and show ladies and gentlemen, show the people, show it off, dude. How can they drive completely virtual? Whether their VAs in the Philippines, Colombia, Mexico, doesn't matter, man. This thing takes you anywhere.
All right, let's
see. I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, hold on a second. We'll add it. Yep, right there.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, just to kind of start with, I think, like I said, the whole goal with this is I want to kind of give you guys that playbook of what our most successful investors are doing and really show it off inside a Deal Machine as I do that. So that way we can, you come away with this where, yeah, obviously, I 100% believe in and would love for people to use Deal Machine, but regardless if you're using us or not, like you'll have this playbook to run with, these 3 steps that our most successful investors are doing. So when you're ready to get out there, you're ready to go find off market deals and go do your first deal or your next deal. But to kind of begin with, I think step 1 here, the whole goal with this is to build that list. It's getting out there. It's looking for those properties that are physically distressed. Again, physical distress is the number 1 indicator of a motivated seller. Like that is the number 1 factor that, hey, if this property's in bad shape, if it looks like it's in bad shape, then for some reason that owner isn't keeping up with it. That's the number 1 indicator that, hey, this is somebody that might have a problem that I can solve as a wholesaler. So what we tell people over and over again is go out and find those first 100 leads, those first 100 properties that you can see the Deal Machine app right here. It's the map, this drive tab right here. And the mobile app looks just like this too. We're actually known as a mobile app first because, you're on the go, you're driving around, it like locks onto your location, right? But this is the desktop version of this that you can go in here and start off. And, the goal is, first to jump into the map right away and start adding these leads. And when I say add a lead, say we were on Liberty Street right here, would lock on your location again. You can drive down the street and you click on a property and you'll see, hey, this is a corporate owned property right here. Let's get into a little more residential area. Hold on, let me find that for you. But this will lock onto your location right here. So we've got this preset right here. Okay, perfect. So you can be looking and saying, okay, now I've got we're in Minnesota right here, owner occupied. You click on that property. And this is what I mean by leads. You're going to see more information about who owns that individual property. All these black dots around you, those are all houses around you that you can view either on this grid mode. You can even go in and actually, if you want to see the satellite mode, Khang, I don't know which way you prefer it, but this makes it a little bit easier to be able to see the individual houses as you run around. But just for the sake of the demo, I'll jump on this. And you click on these black dots and you'll see, okay, it's an owner occupied property. Here's, last sold in 2003, 86% equity. If this is a property that's run down, not looking great, like you've got a ton of equity to work with. Like this could be a really, really, good lead where it's, owner occupied. It'll tell you if it's, absentee or vacant or corporate owned, or what's the situation with the property. But you want to go in here and start looking for properties like this, where you can come in and understand, yeah, they've got some equity to work with. This, I'm driving by and verifying, hey, this is a property that has an issue with it. It has, broken windows, or it had, it's clearly vacant, or it's, I know Josh, who I know you're another Deal Machine guy over here that you know a little bit. Josh got his first deal in Deal Machine when he went by a property that had Halloween decorations up, and it was like,
oh, nice.
So it's like, oh, for whatever reason, like they're just not keeping up with that. So something like that off, and you can jump in here, just hit add lead, and it starts tracking that right away. That means you're going to add this to your lead list. And when I say go add your first 100 leads, that's what I mean, is going out there, start driving around, start looking for properties, in your area that fit that physical distress. And we say 100 leads, not because you're guaranteed to get your first deal in that 100 leads. Like many markets, you won't. Many markets, like if you're in a Seattle, it's going to take more than 100 leads to get a deal in Seattle.
Yep.
But we say 100 because that's really kind of the turning point, the breaking point of where we see people really build good habits, and where we see people be successful is like, once they've added 100 leads to this, we know they're getting out there, they're doing this over and over and over again. They're starting to snowball momentum. And, you might get a deal in the first 100 leads. We've had people literally on our YouTube channel, the fourth person they called, they got a deal. Like we've seen that before. But I just want to set the expectation, like, hey, it's going to take, and depends on your market. It might take 100 leads, might take in Seattle, it could take, 800, 900, 1,000 leads. It's just, but the point is, you're building great habits to consistently get out there, and it's a numbers game after that.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So that's where we're starting is you go and you jump into the map, you start looking in your area. One really big tip here of looking at how to choose an area, like how to choose where to start driving around. I always say, hey, start in your own backyard. That's great too. Like that's, fantastic. But do you have anything when it comes to like a buy box that you talk about lately, Khang, of like, hey, here's the type of deal you're looking for? Or, I can just do a quick filter too, but I don't know if there's anything of like a certain, assessed value or equity or anything like that.
Yeah, man. So tip, I think when you're driving for dollars, if we can do vacant, 40% or more in equity, cool. Maybe absentee or out of state landlord, those are also good. Yep. But yes, when Matt talks about do in your backyard, and literally you can do this obviously in any city, any states you want. But I think nobody knows your market better than you do. So before you go into a new market, try it. The best thing is to start in your own market first. Once you know the process of how wholesaling works, once you've done one or two deals, then if you want to go virtual, you can. But as you can see, you can do this all from the comfort of your own home. Or maybe you're in Mexico and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to pull out Deal Machine app here and I'm going to drive for dollars back in my city, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I love it. And what I would say is, let me pull around here. You can even do, and we actually have even some quick filters too. So that way, if you're like on the go and you just want to do vacant, like you can look up individual equities. But if you just want to say vacant, cool. Here, let me go back here and clear highlights for you. But the quick list filters is the easiest thing to actually hit while you're on the go. There we go. Apply filters. All right, and you'll see. If you have anything, let's see, we're not seeing too many vacants around here. It'll take a minute to load up for you. But if you see any properties that fit that particular criteria, you'll see these yellow boxes start to pop up. Let me find a better residential spot for us here. Here we go. So here's a vacant property down here. So you'll see these boxes start to pop up where it'll show you, okay, yeah, first and foremost, you want to drive around. You want to look for properties that fit, that are physically distressed. Like this is the number one factor. But there are other factors under that, okay, if it's physically distressed and it's high equity and it's vacant, like it starts stacking, these motivations start stacking, and it tells you, oh, that's a really, really good lead that I should focus more of my time on. So, these boxes that pop up when you come in here, you can see like this one's vacant, corporate owned vacant. You'll see these highlights start to pop up and show you, okay, these are good areas that I might want to start driving because, if you had a whole row of these somewhere, then yeah, like that's a great block to start driving on. So we'll use it 100%. Like you said, start in your own area. You know what a distressed property looks like in your area better than most, because you're spending time there. But beyond that, like I'd say, hey, next step is use these highlight filters to really figure out what are good areas to go driving. Do a little R&D ahead of time. Really do a little bit of research to figure out, okay, where should I start driving, and then hit the road. So, you can, again, this is the mobile app looks just like this too. Like if you're locking on your location, you see all these properties pop up around you. But outside of that too, like you talk about, like the virtual driving for dollars, you can do this. It's basically clicking for dollars. Like it's fun, it's simple, it's easy. It's the whole goal is, okay, let me get into the map. Let me jump on right here. You can hit start driving. So drive virtually from anywhere, in any weather, in any time of day, from your couch. Like we're all over the world. We have people just doing that. If it's a VA, virtual assistant, you can have them do it. They just hit start driving.
Wait, Matt. Wait,
yes.
The car is a V8 and it doesn't need no snow tire, right?
Exactly. No gas money, no snow tires. It's great, man.
Dude,
yeah.
With the gas price being where it's at, I'm telling you right now, virtual is the way to go. Look at it. You just be at home or get your VA. You pay your VA, right? $3 to $4 an hour. Just have them go through just like this. Look at it and boom, just add it to the list. That's it. Once you get up to 100, obviously now you can choose which is the next step you want to do. You want to send out some letters. You want to send them text message. You want to send out postcard.
Yep.
Just all from your computer.
Yep. And it's all right there. So you've got, like you said, you got a couple different options there of, hey, do it physically or do it from anywhere at any time. As you're looking around, a couple of pro tips on this. This is an older neighborhood here. So you can see this was 10 years old. That's actually not super common. Most properties, the photos are taken within, usually it's the last year or two if you're in a major area. So I would always check that, which on here, it'll pop up in Deal Machine for you when this photo was taken. So that way, okay, like, hey, is this photo not reliable because it was taken 10 years ago? Yeah. Well, hey, let's zoom out and go on a different area. Let's drive around a different spot. You even can look and see, hey, this was taken in 2012. It was last sold in 2003. So, it hasn't changed hands, but you can double check that too of like, hey, if you find a really good lead, but it was sold recently, because you can look at the data right there, then, hey, maybe it's not a great lead after all, So, I would use this as a way to go in and just start driving, start clicking around, start looking for those black dots. One other pro tip right here. See all these blue dots popping up right here. So this is actually something, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Khang, but these blue dots, these are all properties with an MLS status within the last year. So this is data good for anywhere. You can be in a non-disclosure state. You can be, based out of Texas. You can be in Minnesota here. But when you click on those blue dots, you'll see that more data around, okay, this was sold recently. It was listed. It sold, September 21. It was on market for 81 days. It'll give you even like the listing agent and even contact info for them. If that state, has it. We actually just updated the photos here too. So let me see. That one's an older one. Some of them you'll be able to just pull up and on the spot see photos. So here we go. So you've got one here. It'll pull in if it's like an active MLS status. Let me show one off. Here you go. So it'll show the photos from the MLS listing right there now.
Damn, okay.
Yeah. So like that's, some people, I've seen people do on-market deals like that. I think generally, if they have an MLS status, it's probably not the best, just because, you're driving around and you're looking for properties that are off-market, right? So it's a good way to know like what leads may not be good to add because they're on market and they're, already asking for people to buy it. But, it's one thing to know, like that's a brand new thing that we came out with in the last couple of months.
Dude, I love it. Matt, dude, I want to do something a little bit different here. I want you to find a vacant property, see if we can skip trace it, get a phone number, and I'm going to call the seller.
Love it, man. Let's do it. Here, let me see here.
I want to do something a little bit different. Instead of telling you guys, obviously Matt will share with you exactly what you need to do already. Now, what if we just put in actions? What if we go ahead and go find a property? Dude, it's just literally everything can be done right there on your desktop from anywhere. As long as you got Wi-Fi, you should be good to go.
Really quick too, this orange line, this is where I was clicking around. So it actually shows you the virtual route you quote unquote drove. So you can
Oh,
even zoom
nice.
out and you can even
Yep.
see like, oh yeah, next time I go do this, I need to go this area. I need to go this area, or the
Correct, because
VA
I've
can
already
look
done
and see
that.
where they drove.
Nice.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
good,
Yep.
good, good.
Cool. Love it. So let me go
And
zoom out
for
here.
those of you, okay, while Matt trying to find a property, skip traces, so I
Mhm.
can call the seller.
Yeah.
You know, dude, I gotta say that I'm super grateful for Matt. He's in the academy helping the students out every single week. Matt
Mhm.
will jump on a live. He'll walk you through the whole entire thing, how to not just how to use the machines to app, but how to maneuver, how to build a list, what kind of list to target, like, and then he'll do obviously take questions and answer. For those of you who's in the academy, if you don't join, hey Matt, is it every
Mhm.
Wednesday?
There
I
you go.
forgot.
Yeah.
Right?
Every Wednesday evening we do them.
Yep.
Unless I'm
Oh,
off
nice.
the
So
grid.
if you're in the academy and if you're not attending Matt, you know,
Mhm.
that 1 hour or so webinar where he show you how to do it, dude, you're missing out on a big opportunities, and that's like a big perk of being in the academy. So make sure you show up. It's like, you know, we provide you with all the information, all the knowledge, and all the training that you actually need, whether to get your first deal or you want to build a virtual wholesaling operations, you want to
Yeah.
grow your business, you want to scale, you want to have systems, a team in place. We literally have every day, every training that can show you how to do that. So make sure you show up and you put in the work. And I promise you, you're going to see the results. All right.
Love
All
it.
right,
Yep.
Matt, you got a
And that's
property
what
for
I
me?
do. Yeah, and I just really quick too. I've loved working with your community, man. Like, people show up,
Oh,
they're
thanks, Matt.
excited, they're ready to like take action, ready to get out there. I'll teach people typically like really a lot of this stuff of like, hey, one step at a time. Exactly what Khang's doing here. You get on the map. You either are driving around or you're virtually driving. You're adding leads, and then what we'll walk through here is the skip trace process of like, hey, go actually talk to people like that. But within those classes of doing every single week, we've had on people that really got to know a few people pretty well and like coaching them through to get that
Nice.
first deal. So it's been awesome, man. But
Love it, Matt. Hey, and Matt, I want to say, man, thank you so much. And I appreciate your time and you and David. Like, I think the whole deal machines kind of like company, like you guys there just to help people out. And we all
thanks,
want to
man.
see people win. We all want to see people
Absolutely.
succeed because, you know, it's like once you get your first deal done, it's just kind of a rinse and repeat.
Yep. The first one's the
Mhm.
hardest. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Always.
that's why our mission, like I said, it's give everyone that power of real estate investing. It's getting you from 0 to 1. It's everything we do. Like, we wouldn't be around if we weren't giving value. We weren't helping you out on getting that 0 to 1. We've got, what I'm showing today, like that 3 steps. Like I said, first one's add leads. The second one, which I'm walking you through right now, is actually reaching out to the owner. Like, these 3 steps come from over 150 people that we've interviewed on our YouTube channel that are deal machine customers that talk about, here's the deal that I landed, using the app in this process. So I wanted to like take their knowledge and give you guys that playbook today. So that's, I enjoy teaching like that too. So,
Love it, Matt.
um,
So we got a
so
phone number?
yes. So what I did
Okay.
here, just to clarify for people, whenever I added that lead, it pinned it right here. So you can see like a little blue pin. If I can zoom in here, a little blue pin. It's within this circle right here.
Yep.
It's owner occupied. It's vacant right here.
Cool.
And you've got Jerome and Linda. You've got 6 phone numbers. So what you do, from a marketing standpoint, like the best way to reach out to people, what we see consistently over and over again, it's a two-pronged process. It's short-term outreach, which is Khang's going to show off right now, which is like, hey, let's reach out to them. Let's actually give them a call. Let's give them a text, a knock on the door, like something that gives you immediate feedback from that person.
Sure.
And then combining that with a long-term outreach strategy. That's something that you can automate. And like when David was going around, he was creating postcards. Great. Like I talked about at the beginning here, but that second step is you got to keep it going. You got to keep sending them that mail. So that way, when they do have a problem, when they are ready to sell, you're the one that's been top of mind. You're the one they think of right away. And so you can do that through Deal Machine too. I'll show that after this, but we hit skip trace. It came back, the term skip trace just means basically it's pinging a database and coming back with phone numbers listed for that person. We actually have an email address here from them. This looks like their Gmail. We've got a couple of mailing addresses. So, talking about, being vacant.
Nice.
And then we've got 6 phone numbers here.
Okay, Matt. So give me the phone number And what's the address?
So the address is 20575
20575
Jade Circle.
Jade Circle.
Yep.
Got it done. Okay. What's
That's
the
in
number?
Lakeview, Minnesota. Number is 952
952
221
221
0397.
0397.
And it's Jerome and Linda
Jerome?
Hastrader.
Linda? Okay.
Here.
Dude, I don't even know. We don't need a phone number. They got their 6 phone number, right, Matt?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
Okay. So really quick here, just to, as you're talking to them, you got a high equity home here. That's great. Haven't sold since 2006. Probably have, I mean, they've got a lot, like I said, it's probably appreciated quite a bit here. Yep. And locked in a lot of equity. One thing on these phone numbers, so we have about a 90% hit rate in terms of when you ping the database that anything comes back, which that's, there's nothing better out there in the industry. And then also we have about a 30 to 35% right number rate. So you usually have to call a couple numbers to get that number. And that's also, nothing else better out there. But so what you do is exactly what Khang's doing. You got first one. Okay. Cross it off the list. It tells you the caller ID, if it's mobile or landline, and if it's disconnected or connected or do not call. So, I would say this one's got her. It's a landline, but it's got her caller ID. So maybe I would even try that one next.
Okay. What is it?
So 952.
Yep.
469.
469.
2388.
Okay. I hope that you guys please don't call the seller. Okay. This is just.
Yeah, don't bombard her here.
And if you enjoy the video, please show Matt and myself some love. Smash the thumbs up, please. You're new to the channel. Make sure you boom, smash that subscribe button, baby. Let's go get this money. Nope.
All right.
Nope. Okay.
I would say, let's see, this one, wrong caller ID. These two are disconnected. So
sure.
I try this last one here.
Okay.
Maybe both of those two. And see if we can get a hold of somebody.
What's the number, Matt?
763
763
350
350
1103.
1103. Okay.
Yep.
And earlier, it's like it went through their voicemail. So typically, I would leave a voicemail, but we're just doing this just for the show. So, but you always want to leave a voicemail, always. And your voicemail should be very straight to the point. So if I were to leave a voicemail,
Your call has been forwarded to.
Okay. So, I mean, we don't have time for it, you guys. But if I were to leave a voicemail, I would say, hey, my name is Khang. We're interested in buying your property. Or, hey, we're interested in making you a cash offer on your property located at 20575 Jade Circle. Please give us a call back as soon as you can. Bum, bum, bum. Make it urgent. Make it sound urgent. All right. Yep. Say, hey, we got cash ready to go, ready to buy. Yep. And then just obviously just short and sweet. Don't drag on and leave a 30-second to a minute voicemail, dude. That's just too much, bro. Yeah. So for me, just straight to the point. And if they're motivated to sell, I promise you they're going to call you back. If they're not, then obviously then they're not going to call you back. But once again, you always make sure, just like Matt said, I think consistent and follow-up is key. You got to be consistent, and then you got to keep them in your follow-up sequence.
Absolutely. And that's why it's a numbers game. Like it's about getting out. And that's why we said your first 100 leads are key, because when we look at the data and say, hey, where our most successful customers really ramping up, it's once they hit 100 leads, then they get the process. They're getting excited. They're getting out there. They're taking action. So if you just set that goal of, hey, this month, this weekend, this whenever, I'm going to add 100 leads as I drive around, 100 houses that I just hit, go on it, tap on the property, hit add lead, and boom, on to the next one. Like going through that process is going to get you, get the right muscles going. And step 2 is what you're talking about, Khang. It's giving a call. That's, if you don't get a hold of them, that's okay. Leave that voicemail. We have people who will text, who will, knock on doors, who will, do a variety of different things in addition to that. And then the second step that I talked about is that long-term nurture. And that's the start mail button right here. So, since we left a voicemail, great. I would hit start mail. And as you can see this right here, you can go in and actually customize anything around, okay, how often is this mail going to send? How many times is it going to repeat? How, this one's every 3 weeks right here. What do I want the postcard to say? What does the template look like? That's all customizable. We have 10 default templates inside a deal machine all ready for you to go, that we've got one guy who's done over 200 deals with us, and he only uses those. So they are very well proven. They work very well. But beyond that, like, hey, you can go in and customize the wording, customize the images, all that stuff, and just start blasting out mail like this. And, it's putting in those reps, and it's being able to stay top of mind. So that way you've left that voicemail, you're starting to send mail. Your goal is to be the right place, right time, the right person that they think of when they are motivated to sell.
Love it, man. Love it. All right,
Awesome.
you guys. Dude, for those of you, if you want to try out Deal Machines, all right, just go to dealmachines.com/WTM. I partner up with Deal Machines to give you guys a 7 days free trial at no risk. After the 7 days, you're like, oh, I don't like it. You can just disconnect, no string attached, or I'll leave the link right below. And also too is for those of you who want to join the academy, all right, where you need extra training, extra help, extra guidance, just DM me on, let me see here. Just DM me on Instagram. Go to Real King Khang and DM me on Instagram. Just DM me the word mentorships, and we got you. Now, Matt, my last question to you is, for those that have been going at this for a couple months already and still struggling trying to get their first deal, I mean, what are some tips or some feedback that you can give to them, man?
Yeah, and I think, it's something that's common. It's funny, like, really with anything you're doing, like you might be 90% of the way through the tunnel. You might have dug all the way there. You might be 99%. It's literally the next lead you add, the next one you call, that is that deal. It truly is a numbers game in the end. Like, I know, when we look and see it from a follow-up perspective, how long it takes to get that first deal, you have typically it's over, it's about 80% of your deals take at least 3 follow-up touch points to do. And then over 50% of your deals, it takes at least 5 follow-up touch points or more to get to that deal. So it might be like, hey, maybe not enough leads in your market, maybe not enough follow-up touch points. I would look at within Deal Machine on the leads tab right there. As you keep adding each of those properties coming in, the leads tab, one thing that we see consistently over and over again is people are learning from their mistakes and learning from what works as well. So when you jump in the leads tab, you can actually click on a lead, you can leave a note, you can leave tasks, you can do things that will help you look back on those properties and figure out like what has worked well, there you go. Perfect. So if you jump in here, I was on the drive tab right before. When you jump into the leads tab right here, this is really that third step of the 3-step playbook is, after we've called this person right here, or who do we call right here? Jerome and Linda, you can see on the activity, hey, we started a mail sequence. We skip trace this lead. I would even just jump in here and add a note and say, left a voicemail today. Click on that, post that note, go in there. I would even add a task and say, hey, call them again, and assign that to myself and change that for, 2 days out, and create that task and do things like this, where when you jump into Deal Machine, you'll see that task is waiting for you that day, and you'll be able to do things like this. So that way, every single lead you follow up with the appropriate amount of times to give yourself the best chance for success. So it's about using automation and then a structured process like this, where you just get better and better and better at it. And man, when you do that first deal, like it gets really, really fun, and you're going to, keep rolling with this. So
absolutely. And I think Matt just said the right thing is automations. Automations where it allows you to do a ton of follow-up without you actually going in there, clicking on every single one of them, because all you need to do is set up the automation. It'll automatically send these text message, or it will remind you. So you don't like, oh, did I call the seller? Did I miss the appointment, etc. So automation is extremely important for those of you who want to obviously, grow and scale your business, doing a few deals, having a few leads comes in a month, it's fine. But if you want to grow and scale, you want to do hundreds of leads and thousands of leads coming in, it's hard to keep up if you don't have automations.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's, I mean, like you talked about a VA, that's another solution to help outsource like that. But
Yep.
yeah, within Deal Machine, automating the mail and doing that is, how you're going to be able to scale that and be able to do more and more and more leads without having to call them every single day. So definitely, I always, we love hooking up your community. Like you said, promo code WTM is going to get you actually the most marketing credits out there. So if you try us out, like 7-day free trial, just go to dealmachine.com and hit start that trial, and make sure to put that promo code WTM. That is going to set you up for success. You're going to get a ton of free postcards, a ton of free skip traces. And just, we want to remove every single barrier to help you make things happen like that. And, if you want, one thing I will say is, if you message myself or Deal Machine and you're wanting to do like an actual 12-month, like, hey, yeah, I want to commit this year, I want to do my first deal, I have maybe a little bit of extra money to invest in something like this, then message us, and we do have a special deal that we do only for your people, only for Khang's following. So message me directly, say, hey, I was on the live and want to hear about the 12-month deal, and we can send you a link to that too. So
awesome, Matt. And how can they reach you, dude? On Instagram?
Yeah, if you do, if you go through the Deal Machine Instagram, I'll see it. Also, MattCamp23. We also, actually, my email is just matt@dealmachine.com. And I'm in that all day, every day too. So I will definitely get it there, and I want to be support for you guys. So hit me up, and I'm happy to help.
Love it, man. Matt, thank you so much. Every single one of you. Once again, if you enjoyed this video and if it does add value, because it better does, man, boom, smash that thumbs up for me. And also too, Matt, I want to say thank you so much, every single one of you that are watching this. A lot of times you have gone too far to give up. You have put too much time, too much effort, too much energy, too much money into this already to give up. And sometimes literally you only one car, one drive, one block, one house, one phone call away from getting that first deal. And that first deal, my first wholesale deal, was 28 G's. Imagine that. Dude, I used to work for a whole entire year just to make 30K. And I made that in like, I think 7 or 15 days closing, and boom. So
changes your perspective, man. Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. So like the worst thing you can do is give up on yourself and on your dreams. But not just that, if you have, spouse, husband, wife, your parents or kids or whatever it is, when you decide to give up, you're not just giving up on yourself. Remember that. You're giving up on everybody that depend and need you. They need you to succeed, man. They need you to make a boatload of money to give them the life that they deserve. So thank you so much for watching, Matt. Thank you so much for your time, man. Until next time, you guys, take care and ciao. Later, Matt. All right. Matt, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. Wait, I got to end this real quick.